Hello friends, I'm Ruby Unial, Head Department of Psychology, KTHM College, Nasik, and I am handling the core paper Counseling Processes and Skills. In our last video, we have discussed some of the major approaches of counseling. They are humanistic approach, cognitive approach, behavioral approach, psychoanalytic approach, constructionist approach, and systemic approach. Today, let us discuss some other counseling approaches. The first among them is interpersonal counseling. Now, interpersonal counseling is a diagnosis focused approach in which the client's disorder is regarded as a medical illness that requires intervention. In this sense, any fault of self or self blame is diminished for the client. The role of interpersonal relationships and attachment on mental health outcomes are also important targets for this type of counseling. It is a time limited approach during which clients learn that their psychological issues are linked to environmental stresses. Interpersonal counselors are supportive and compassionate, serving as clients' friends. Such therapists suggest ways for clients to deal with situations in a way that promotes self efficacy and reduced symptoms. Based on clinical trials, interpersonal therapy has been effective for the treatment of psychiatric disorders, especially depression. The next approach is existential therapy. Existentialism is a philosophy aimed at examining the question of human existence. You all must have remembered last year we have studied something about the existential approach and we had discussed things about our own existence or questioning our existence, the search for meaning in life. It is often associated with 19th and 20th century writers and philosophers such as Jean Paul Sartre, Soren Kierkegaard, Albert Camus, and Friedrich Nietzsche. Existential thinking is also inherent in ancient Greek philosophy, going as far as Socrates, that is around 469 BC to 399 BC. The existential therapy does not attempt to cure a person or reduce specific symptoms, but it rather seeks to explore and question aspects of the human predicament. The client is viewed as ever changing and always in the process of becoming. The existential therapist operates from the client's perspective to explore what it means to be alive. He or she works with the client to examine unfulfilled needs and potential and how to make rational choices. While this counseling approach is still evolving, research has indicated significant reductions in anxiety and depression symptoms following short term existential therapy. The next approach that is gaining a lot of attention today is called as mindfulness based counseling. Now, mindfulness based counseling is grounded in mindfulness philosophy, which refers to a process that leads to a mental state characterized by non judgmental awareness of the present moment experience, including one's sensations, thoughts, bodily states, consciousness, and the environment while encouraging openness, curiosity, and acceptance. Basically, mindfulness talks about living in the present. So, one has to experience his present moment by being non judgmental and accepting the facts. During mindfulness based therapy, the client pays attention to his or her feelings and thoughts in the moment and without judgment. Following Buddhist traditions, it is an open minded and accepting way of responding to thoughts and feelings. Mindfulness based counseling is an increasingly popular approach today, which is aimed at helping clients to increase relaxation while removing negative or stressful judgments. This technique helps to teach clients how to deal with emotional stressors reflectively instead of reflexively. Different types of mindfulness meditation approaches may be applied as part of mindfulness counseling, such as yoga, breathing meditation, sitting meditation, body scan, and sound scan. Body scan involves attending to different parts of the body in a gradual format while tensing and then relaxing muscles. With sound scan, responses to sounds are adjusted such as that their aversive impact is reduced. While mindfulness approaches are often added on to CBT and other forms of therapy, there is recent evidence supporting their unique benefit for the reduction of anxiety. Basically, we have also studied a technique called as progressive relaxation, wherein you tense certain parts of the muscles and then you release or relax those particular muscles by releasing the tension. Then, the next therapy is rational emotive therapy, or most of you have heard it as REBT, that is Rational Emotive Behavior Therapy. Now, Albert Ellis, he developed the rational emotive therapy in the mid 1900s. It is a type of CBT in which a person's distress is perceived as a function of irrational or faulty thinking. So, all the distress that we have in life is majorly because of our irrational thinking. And rational emotive therapy basically teaches us to rationalize our thoughts. The therapist works with the client to examine his or her cognitive appraisals of how an event may have created an outcome. In other words, it is the client's belief about a situation rather than the situation itself that is the focus of treatment. Unlike client centered therapy, Ellis's rational emotive approach is active and directive, intending to help clients avoid self defeating beliefs and ultimately to experience a more positive sense of well being. Now, for example, many a times, suppose we have planned to go for a movie together, and most of the friends have come, and if one of the friend is coming late, many a times we stand there and we start getting anxious as to why this person has got late. So we think of various reasons why he must be coming late, and most of them are irrational beliefs which add to our anxiety. So, rational emotive behavior therapy tells us to just relax, be present in the moment, and think of valid reasons for which the person may be late. So, basically, we have to rationalize our thoughts. If you have irrational thoughts, then there is distress. The next is reality therapy. Now, reality therapy was developed by William Glasser in 1950s. Its principles stem from Alfred Adler's ideas about the social context of human behavior. It is based on choice theory, which focuses on the power of individuals to control their behaviors. While not all aspects of life are within our power to change, human beings are always faced with opportunities to respond either rationally or responsibly, or the opposite thereof. Reality therapy helps clients to establish greater control over their lives while enhancing the ability to build meaningful and effective relationships. It is a present day, non symptom focused approach in which the counselor takes on a friendly, positive, and non judgmental stance. Reality therapy promotes individual responsibility for actions while helping clients make decisions that are in line with the visions they have for their lives. After this, yet another therapy is narrative therapy. Narrative therapy helps individuals to become experts in their own lives. Each of us has a story we tell ourselves about who we are as a person. Because we derive meaning from our stories, they shape and influence how we perceive and respond to the world around us. By impacting our decisions, these narratives influence our ability to enjoy meaningful and satisfying experiences, The narrative counselor works collaboratively with the client to create alternative stories using a non judgmental, respectful approach. Ultimately, clients are guided in reauthoring their stories in a way that is most consistent with their life goals. The next therapy is creative therapy. Now, creative therapy involves the use of different art mediums aimed at improving mood and other aspects of well being. For example, music therapy consists of the monitored use of music to promote clinical change. Music therapy may be used in multiple ways, such as in combination with CBT or other types of therapy. Performing music also may foster positive feelings that reduce stress and promote healing. The scientific literature indeed supports a link between music therapy and reduced psychological symptoms such as anxiety. Art therapy is also used as a creative therapeutic tool today. Engaging clients in art projects such as healthy image posters, collages, and clay modeling provides a method of self expression that goes beyond words. Artistic expression also supports the cathartic release of positive feelings and aids counselors in applying other types of therapy. Research indicates that art therapy is indeed useful for the reduction of anxiety and other psychological symptoms across multiple populations. Today, we have seen some other approaches to counseling. They are interpersonal counseling, existential therapy, mindfulness based counseling, rational emotive therapy, reality therapy, narrative therapy, and creative therapy. So, friends, I hope all of you have watched the video carefully and are taking down running notes. Thanks a lot for watching.